Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of First Time Watch Fridays here on Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got my awesome guest. She hasn't been on this one particularly yet, but that's just to say because a lot of this is the first time I'm inviting others on this, but you've been on shows like this, like Indie Film Cafe and 31 Days of Indie Horror. Please welcome Anna Xaden. How you doing, Anna?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
Good. So it's really funny because I told myself I wouldn't do 31 days of indie horror because it's just too much and throughout the year, and I just didn't want to get too bogged down with stuff. And then I started doing this and it's sort of the same
Ah,
thing. But there's 20 episodes as opposed to 31, so maybe that's a little easier to handle. I don't know.
yeah.
But I've got awesome you as my guest, and you haven't been on a show like this in a while. You usually been on we've been having you for like Hollywood Knockbusters and
Yeah.
a couple things like that. So welcome. Welcome to the
Thank you.
show.
Happy to
And
be here.
we are gonna talk about, well, all right, I'm gonna call it what it really originally actually was, which was Rise of the Chupacabras.
Ah,
But I'm gonna tell you something. Wild Eye Releasing, who put this out, has this annoying way of changing their titles for streaming so that people who've never, I don't know if it's so that people who've never who've seen it before get duped into watching it again or something, but that's what it feels like. But they chose the worst title they could go with because the sequel was actually called Blood of the Chupacabras and is listed on IMDb as Blood of the Chupacabras, and but that's the sequel. This is the first
oh,
one. So this is the first one. This isn't the sequel. I thought, got confused for a second. I was like, wait, is this the sequel? And then I read what each one was about, and
uh-huh.
only one of them has Kurt Rod in that, and
Hmm.
that's actually the director, Jonathan Mum, who played
Ah,
Kurt Rod, who's I guess the guy looking for gold or whatever in the
yeah.
caves, or whatever. It's supposed to be a mine, but then then claimed it was not really a mine, it was a cave, and I'm like, there's a big difference between a
Yeah.
mine and a cave. So it got me a little annoyed.
Yeah.
So this is obviously both of our first time watching this film. What was your first initial reaction of it?
Ooh, oh man, there's so much. So I don't know. I didn't like the storyline, and the sound was off. It
The
was it was
sound was
like
terrible.
muffled at some point. Some points it was really loud.
Hmm.
And the chupacabra was, I don't know, it looked like this angel creature.
Sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't, I've never known the chupacabra to look like that. And
No, it's
that looked
supposed to
more
be
like a
dog-like
gargoyle.
vampire creature. Yeah, that's what, yeah.
And they even say something like, oh, those look like gargoyles. And I'm like, are they
Yeah.
trying to say that gargoyles and chupacabra are the same creature? Which they're not. So like,
Yeah.
I know, and then they're trying to say that they're vampires, which I looked into it. I guess people have been claiming that the chupacabra could be vampires or
Yeah.
whatever, and like so there was the statement about that, but like it got really weird at the end, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But like it
Yeah.
just, yeah, you're right. And the sound now.
Yeah.
I do Indie Film Cafe, and in the Indie Film Cafe, we do a stinkometer. And one of the things we do for stinkometer is if the sound is bad, you can't hear it real well, you got to turn up the volume or
Uh-huh.
whatever, or you can't see it very well. And there were times where it was kind of a little hard to see because they didn't have lights can light up
Yeah.
certain areas, like especially when they're outside at night, it just looked bad. Um, and that's understandable. That's indie, that didn't bother me.
Yeah.
What bothers me is story. When you can make it felt like, and it probably was a bunch of people in a small town that wanted to go make a movie, right? So they
Yeah.
went out and shot this. this movie is a feature-length film, and they made it, you know, on a really tight budget, you know,
Hmm.
and they had fun with it. They tried. They tried to have fun with it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any fun watching it. It was kind of like there was too many characters too. And
Hmm.
I'm all for a lot of characters because I love TV and that's what happens in TV and
Uh-huh.
whatnot. But like this was like people bouncing around and I wasn't really introduced to any of them. So I was
Yeah.
like, I have no
They
idea what.
It's like they thought that we all knew who they were to start with.
Right. Like, how was I supposed to know that guy was the mayor until they said something about him being, later being the mayor, like things like
Yeah.
that. And so and I don't know, there's too many characters, too many things. It's like the dude wanted to have all his friends in one movie. And so
Yeah.
he was just like, well, let's just make this whole movie be about these people, these main people, and you can tell who the main people were, but even then, like until the credits, I didn't even know who the lead really was.
Oh, yeah.
There was no real set lead, and
Yeah.
I guess it was technically the the son of the mother who looked like they were like the same age,
Yeah. That
right?
that was kind of weird too. I was like, wait a what?
He was like, comes inside, it's like, Mom. I'm like, Mom? Is that what you call your girlfriend? Like, what is going on here? And
She got started early.
I know. I'm like, Jesus, was she like 5 when she had you? Like, good God. Um,
And then
yeah,
the other one I thought could have been the lead was the reporter lady.
yeah,
I didn't even catch her name.
what was her name? I've got it here on this thing. It was the reporter lady who I thought they were gonna give her more of a role, but I don't think they really
Yeah.
did. Um, okay, so Randy Parker was the main guy. That was the character of the main guy. Um, Linda Trent was like the second, and that was his girlfriend who worked at the club or whatever, worked at the bar, you know.
Yeah.
Um, then it goes Grandpa Charles, so I'm guessing the grandpa, who's supposedly a vampire hunter or something looking for the Mocha vamp. I don't know. It just got
Yeah.
weird. Then the
It's
Mago lady was next.
yeah.
And we'll get to the actors' names in a second, in a little bit. Sue Ramsey. I'm guessing that was the reporter lady. Or
Ah,
wait, hold on.
okay.
Hold on. Because the husband of her was the guy who ran the thing. So no, it was either Sue Ramsey or Sandra Walker.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know. These don't help me at all because nobody, I mean, people might have said their names, but I don't remember offhand.
Ah, yeah.
So,
I probably don't remember anyone's name being used in it. It's
yeah,
it's
other
kind of
than,
like an ADHD movie, if you
other
can
than,
picture it as that.
I do remember, that one, the main guy, the director's name, Kurt Rod. I remember that
Uh-huh.
going, who the fuck's named Kurt Rod? Like, is Rod a last name? Like that was, and like he was introducing himself like it was some like cool hip name, like Kurt Rudd. What's up? He's the director. I was just like, yeah, you know, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm out. Like he got into the fight with that like psychopath guy in the bar
Uh-huh.
or whatever, and they kicked him out or whatever, and just took his gun. And I'm like, man, then because I was like, wait, you literally took the dude's gun? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but you know, um, it was a crazy movie.
It
Um,
was. Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It's like a movie on ADHD. You need some
Yeah.
Ritalin, man. Bad.
Yeah. They forgot to take their Adderall that morning.
I know. When he was writing, he was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be amazing. Kurt Rudd is gonna be the next Indiana Jones."
There were so many times during the movie I was just like, what just happened? And I'd go back and nothing happened. It just skipped to another part. So
Hmm.
it was very confusing.
It was. It was very
Yeah.
confusing. But anyway, yeah. So I like the whole movie just was just like nuts. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I did this. I think I did the same thing of like I had to like, if I paid attention even, which I did most of the time. I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of bored me a little bit at times, throughout the middle of the movie or whatever.
Yeah, there's one part that I dazed out.
Yeah, it's just like, can we get to some more
Yep.
gargoyles killing people, I guess? I mean, they're not chupacabras, I don't
No, a
think.
chupacabra from what I've heard from Mexicans and also seen what they call footage. It's a dog-like creature.
Yeah, I thought it was like on the ground, like
Yeah.
like always. I never thought it flew.
No, I've never heard of it flying. I've just heard of it like sneaking into the crops, taking blood, killing the animals, and going on its merry little way.
Why didn't they just call it gargoyles? Like, I mean, not Rise of the
Yeah.
Gargoyles, because unless they were the first to do it, because there was a movie later called Rise of the Gargoyles.
Oh,
But like,
really?
why didn't they just do gargoyles? Like,
Yeah.
gargoyles are pretty fucking cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't,
But
and
even the wings weren't like they were angel wings. They weren't
they were
even
like
gargoyle
demon
wings.
wings because they're like
Yeah.
black wings,
Yeah.
or whatever.
But they were
They're,
still feathers. And I'm sitting there thinking, what?
they were floating down and
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I like most of the lore of like the idea like it was a goat, they kill goats and stuff like that. That's why
Yeah.
they're the goat sucker,
The other part was when they said that they went after the goats, they went out to look at the goats and there were sheep.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I was like,
That
where's
is,
the goat? I'm sitting
oh
there
my,
waiting for the goats. And I was like, those are
uh,
sheep.
you go, you're looking for the ghosts, and the ghosts go bah.
Yeah.
They were sheep. Oh God, that's terrible. Um, there was a lot of like really bad things like that,
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say negative things necessarily because I know
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time to make a full length feature film, or
Mhm.
whatever. But like this movie was just off the wall terrible. Like I just got real. I mean, I got bored at times. I got
Yeah.
frustrated. I was like, what is up with this Mago lady? Why are they taking her with them,
Yeah.
on this? Like, and we later find out it's because she is the El Chupacabra, which makes no
Yeah. When she
sense.
said that, I was like, what? It was so bad. I looked at my cat and he was sitting there looking at me and he's looking at the screen like he understood what
Like
was
he
going
understood
on.
how bad that was.
I'm
That's
like, oh man, he looked at me so many times, just like, why are you still watching this?
when your
Because
cat,
my cat loves watching the TV and stuff.
yeah.
So if he sees something he doesn't like, he looks at me like, really?
So when your cat wants you to turn it off, that's a bad sign.
Oh
Um,
yeah. He even at one point climbed up here and he stuck his arms up here trying to cover my eyes. And then he wrapped around my neck. I was like, wow, okay.
man, I wish you recorded that. Come
I
on,
know, I wish I
Jesus,
could have.
Jesus. Oh my
Yeah, he
goodness.
was very disapproving of that movie.
Your cat gives it a paw down.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
It was
I
so funny. I was just like, what? And he
I
just,
wasn't expecting like I mean I didn't know what to expect to be honest. Like this isn't like your, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, Wild Eye. I love you guys to death, but can you screen your movies before you pick them out? Like, and they put
Oh
them in like a
yeah.
double feature. See the thing I have right here? It's actually a
Yeah.
double feature. So they have Blood
Oh,
of the
okay.
Chupacabras and Revenge of the Chupacabras.
Oh
So
no.
Blood of the Chupacabras originally called Rise of the Chupacabras, and Revenge of the Chupacabras originally called Blood of the Chupacabras. And it's called
Okay.
Chupacabras, and that annoyed
Yeah,
me the fuck
there was only
most.
one
Well, no, but like,
and a bunch of vampires.
yeah, and a bunch of
That
vampires.
was the
Well,
thing. They separated all the people from vampires from the chupacabra. They
it's
should
like,
have said this is Dracula 2023.
yeah,
When was this made?
2003, so 20 years ago.
Oh wow. I'm
No,
actually shocked we didn't have that at our video store because we
you
had some
might have,
craptacular stuff.
and you just didn't know it because it was so unmemorable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not because like I mean some of these movies don't get actually get out till like later or whatever because
True.
like
Yeah.
the filmmakers are trying to get it out, and back then in 2003 there wasn't that many distributors like there are now.
No,
Now
I remember something moon.
Full Moon,
Yes, full moon. That was one. Lionsgate was big on picking up the bad actors. Asylum.
they're a
This
little
seems like
little
one that
bit
would
more
be
picky
under
now.
asylum. Huh?
Now Lionsgate's a little bit more picky now.
Yeah. They
They're
got a lot
they
pickier.
still got some terrible stuff, and I love them. I love them to
Yeah.
death. Don't lie. Like I would literally let them distribute any of my films because they
Nice.
usually at least put it in the theaters and stuff too.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of
true.
a lot of these indie productions, Wild Eye and whatnot, they're just straight to DVD or streaming and stuff.
Yeah.
Usually streaming too, like a lot more streaming and whatnot, which
Huh.
is what the way the world is going now, and kind of sucks. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, because I like having physical copies, as you know,
I do too.
and even though I do love streaming, like I love Tubi, which is where we saw this, and the chance that I could like I don't I can watch it there like pretty easily or whatever. I can buy
Yeah.
it on Amazon for like $15, $20,
Mhm.
whatever. I could buy it on Amazon and have it forever if I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays streaming is just taking over and everything, and it's just a pain.
True. See,
Give
I
me a
remember there was one company, if I saw the name of it on the disc or the tape, I
hmm
knew it was a bad movie because it was Asylum and it was nothing but a cover for a porno. But they didn't have that classified as porno in our shop in the uh in the movie store. So
a
you rent it
movie.
thinking, here's there were a bunch of vampire movies that that company made put out,
Really? Do you
but
think they're pornos? I don't know.
oh yeah, no,
Well,
the
they look like
Asylum
pornos
stuff
maybe,
was
but they don't. If
yeah,
you watch the
it's
movies, they're very soft on the soft core. Like they don't really do anything. They have like
yeah,
nudity and stuff. I mean, I
yeah.
love this.
No, the
I
ones
worked
that
for the
I saw,
asylum,
like they
so
started with full-fledged stuff going on. And I'm like, oh
I don't know if
wow.
that's the asylum because
I don't know, maybe it wasn't, but it was
asylum's the
something
guys
like
who did
that.
like they did like Beast of Bray Road, Transmorphers, King of the Lost World, then later Sharknado. I mean, so I maybe it's not the
Yeah,
one your company you're thinking of.
I
Um,
don't know. It
there
was
were
back in 2000 when they had that though, so it probably changed over the years.
maybe I don't
Yeah.
know.
I just
They had
remember seeing that and knowing it was the lowest quality you could get.
now back in 2001, two, something like that. They made a movie called Jane White is Sick and Twisted, and if you've never seen that movie, watch it. I think it's on Tubi. It is
Okay.
freaking awesome.
Send
It's
me the
from the
name
asylum,
after
and
the show.
basically it's about a woman who is like obsessed with television so much she thinks her life is in basically a television show, and
Oh,
stuff like that. It's pretty funny. It's got like a lot of it's got like Allie Mills, who is the Wonder Years, mom and
oh
stuff, and
yeah.
it's got I think Danica McKellar could have been in it from Winnie Cooper could have been in it.
Hmm.
But I know Dustin Diamond, Screech, I believe he was in it too. So a bunch of these,
Ah,
kind of child
never heard
actors
of
and
that one.
people from television. It's good. It's a good movie. It's what got me
Nice.
into a lot of their stuff. The guy who made it, I'm David Michael Latt. He's one of the creators of The Asylum. To get back to this movie that
Oh
we're
yeah.
reviewing, yeah. So I don't know. I never saw this in the video store. I have no idea if it was ever. I don't think it was. I think it got out years after Wild Eye picked it up because Wild Eye picks up a lot of crap. You know, they they're very. I mean, and they don't care. Like they're gonna put the movie out and it's just gonna be out there, like whatever, you know what I mean? And so they don't care what they put out. And so sometimes they put out great movies. Like Clownado was one of them that I really liked.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard that was pretty good.
and what was the silly one? With the pastor, um, oh God, people are gonna kill me on here. There's it was like a Velocipaster. It was literally a pastor who gets transformed into a dinosaur,
Oh, that's
human.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. So he's a superhero kind of character who's, a Velocipaster. Yeah. It's just silly. But like
That's
those movies are
fun.
fun. This
Yeah.
is sort of on the like, hey, we'll take anything kind of side. And look, I'm not saying that these guys shouldn't keep making movies or anything. Like, please don't, for the love of God, think I'm just dissing on your movie. I'm thinking you guys need a lot of practice. Keep making movies.
Yeah.
Keep them going. Um, the
Trial and
director
error.
also is an actor, so keep doing what you're doing, man. But understand this was not good at all. No, terrible. And don't make anything like this again, you know. Like
Yeah.
we have so much, we people can buy lights now that are
Yeah.
actually really good. People can buy good sound equipment now.
Hmm.
There's no excuses for this now. Maybe in 2003 it wasn't as easy and the camera work period looked like it was like shot on mini DV or something to that
Yeah.
fact. It looked awful. It was not HD. It was not.
No,
If it was, it looked really awful. Like, but I don't think it was HD. Which
I
is
don't think
cool.
so.
Once again, not knocking somebody going out and making a movie. Like, go make a movie. But understand that when you make a movie, you're gonna get bad reviews if the movie's
Yeah.
terrible. It's gonna happen. And I just want to know if he thought this was a good movie. I wonder if he'll respond in the comments and be like, I thought this was the greatest movie of all time. Hopefully he didn't. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you know, I'm honestly like, this is the fifth movie or something, fourth or fifth that I've done for this show so far. And
Uh-huh.
horror is killing me, bro. Like, it is killing me. I am not, I'm well, I mean, just because you can make a movie doesn't mean you need to, you know?
Yeah.
That happens
I
a
think this
lot.
one, if they took more time with it and one proofread it and put it together a little more or like I don't know, organized because it was too jumping from one thing to the next and then back again. And then I don't know. They should have, for one, named the characters as they were seeing them.
But yeah, like you can just have in a conversation where somebody, is like, hey, blah, 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 can you pass me the blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
Like something simple
exactly.
like that, like where we, where somebody, it would be normal for somebody to say somebody's name,
Yeah.
so it's not like they're doing it just to let people know what their names is, but we gotta know the characters' names because otherwise you have no idea who this person is. Like we're
Yeah.
introduced in the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to this woman who has kids running around. And
Yeah.
who is she?
I don't know. It just
Like
that was one
she
of the things that started, and then it just flipped into another
story, but then later they
scenario.
do come back to her as her like son is trying to tell the reporter or whatever, like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the Chupacabras that you're telling about, all
Yeah.
this. And then they really wanted us to know that what's that lady's name? The ah
The gypsy?
the gypsy lady, the Mago,
Yeah.
The Mago. They wanted us to know that and want to know that she's the White Witch,
Yeah.
and all this other shit. And um, oh, we gotta talk about that ending real quick because
Oh
that
yeah.
ending
Oh
was
my goodness.
awful. So,
Oh.
so at one point in the movie, uh, and this is all spoilers. I do spoilers for every movie, so whatever. Get used to it. Um, there's one scene in the movie where the guy, the main guy, I guess, or whatever, steals his grandpa's map,
Uh-huh.
gives it uh to get $2,000. The guy's selling it for $2,000, gets $2,000 to pay for the house, you know. Doesn't tell his mom where he got the money. He just is like, you know, don't worry, I didn't do anything illegal. Yeah, you did. You fucking stole something that was
Yeah.
illegal, technically. It's family, so and you're not borrowing it, so you're stealing from your family. That's what this is supposed to be one of their heroes, I guess, in the movie. So he steals the map, gives it, but he's a hero because he's giving the money to bullshit. He's a dick. Um,
Yeah.
so he gives it to the sells the map, and somebody, I don't know, one guy apparently memorized the map. What? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? And wrote it out
Yep.
already? That was just the worst writing ever. It's almost like they were trying to get themselves out of a hole they dug of like, oh shit, now that they have the map, how do these people get there? Oh,
Yeah.
he just memorized the whole map and he could just draw it out. So he did that.
Oh man, he was top notch to
He
keep
had
that in his memory.
Sheldon's
Yeah.
brain, I guess.
That probably kicked everything in his memory out except the map.
Whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. He didn't even seem smart enough to be able to do that, but whatever. His
Yeah.
character, like, I don't know. Whatever. Character goes off and they go off to go find them. There's apparently a whole group of people going, and they're going based on this guy's sort of remembrance of it,
Uh-huh.
of going, but he doesn't know, and nobody knows he doesn't know that he doesn't have the map. I'm like, how do you not tell everybody you're on going on this expedition that you don't necessarily know where you're going? You're just gonna
Yeah.
lead them into the woods somewhere, whatever. So the Mago, who I have no idea, once again, why the fuck she's with this expedition? Like, why do they think like, oh, you know what we need right now? We need that psychic lady to be on our like
Yeah.
why? Oh, she knows so much about El Chupacabras.
Oh yeah, that was the thing too, is El Chupacabra, but she's speaking with a Russian accent,
She's
but
like supposed to be
she
like
said El
a gypsy.
Chupacabra is Mexican, and I'm like, what? It's Spanish. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Russian thinks it's El Chupacabra. I guess they thought they could pass her as a Mexican. I don't,
No,
or
I think what they
somebody
wanted to
from another
pass her,
country down south.
they
Huh?
wanted to pass her off as a gypsy, which I guess
Yeah.
you're technically not allowed to say that word anymore. Traveler is what you're supposed to say.
Yeah.
So sorry. Sorry if I've offended the travelers out there.
Yeah.
Um, and I really do. I really am I keep forgetting you're not allowed to say that word. It's just because I've been so like, you know, sort of used to saying it in my like vocab that
Yeah,
sometimes
me
it just
too.
still slips. And if it really is offensive, I'm sorry. I did not mean to say that. But so that lady, is with them. I don't know why. I mean, I don't even remember them asking her to go. She just was there.
No,
And I don't
just
remember, was she even
poof.
on the boat? I don't remember her
I
being on
don't
the boat.
remember that.
Did
I
she
don't
like
remember
show
her
up
on
with
that.
them or something? I don't know. Like it was
She just
weird.
kind of poof and she's there.
That's what I felt like. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I
Yeah.
need to watch it more
Maybe
than
she was
once.
there and we just like tuned her out.
Yeah, because we're like, why is she? Because she's not supposed to be. Maybe your cat was like clawing on you at that time. It was like, don't look at the Mago.
You know who she reminded me of? It's probably because she was really short, but did you ever see Teen Wolf? Well,
Yeah,
okay, I know when you saw. I mean, not Teen Wolf, Teen Witch.
Teen
Okay,
Witch.
Zelda Rubinstein.
Yeah, Zelda Rubinstein, who was in freaking
Yes, she was in
like
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Yeah.
Yes, she kind of reminded me of her for a split second.
No, I get it.
As I said,
I
it could
maybe
be
that's what
just,
they were
yeah,
going for
kind of
too. Like a
bizarre. Like in
yeah,
Teen Witch, she was the witch fortune teller.
right. And that's what
Yeah,
they were trying to go with this is like, yeah, the witch fortune teller. Maybe that's exactly
yeah,
what they're going with. So good catch on there. But
yeah,
so they all go up there and then he can't remember where to find the map. So she says, do you believe in hypnosis? And he's like, no,
yeah.
no, no, nah, no, hypnosis is ridiculous. And it's like, I'm gonna hypnotize. Oh, she just goes like this.
Yeah.
That's
I've
not how you hypnotize
hypnotized
people.
you.
Like, unless you were magical. And in that case, wouldn't people be like, hey, wait a minute?
Yep,
If there's like some
exactly.
magic coming out, like, but there wasn't. She just literally just went, hello. And
Yeah.
he was out apparently, which we don't see his face at all. So we don't see if
Yeah.
he's out. And then she's like, when I snap my fingers, you will awake. And I'm like, he was asleep? I don't know what is going on here.
Like you didn't
Um,
do the spinny wheel.
what?
She didn't do the spinny wheel to hypnotize.
Yeah, you usually have the like little
Yeah, or
clock.
the pendulum. Yeah.
Yeah, you have the little clock and it goes back with like the little watch,
Yeah.
back, forth, whatever. But they didn't do any of that. She just went whoop, and he was out
Yep.
like a light. Um,
She has that fast acting magic.
goodness gracious. Anyway, so she says, when you awake, you'll remember everything, including where the map, where this stuff is. So he comes there
Yeah.
and then there there's already people there, there's the guy, the hunter, which that scene was ridiculous too. There's the director guy who plays the, hunter, right? And
Yeah.
then there's the girlfriend, the girl. Okay, so I have to backtrack real quick to explain this because this is utterly ridiculous. He is he asked this girl, like, can I walk you home or can I get your number? She is not giving any of these things to him. Like, she is just not basically, she's kind of giving him off like standoff vibes.
Uh-huh.
And then she's willing to go into the woods with this dude she barely knows and like camp out and then go, go find this gold or whatever, which I'm like, she,
Yeah.
like, is she dumb? Like, what is going on here? Like, I don't understand, and it's because it's bad writing,
Yeah.
like it's terrible writing, awful, the worst writing. And I mean, I hate saying that because I'm a writer and I hate criticizing other people's work because it looks like snobbish or something, but it's when I see bad writing, I'm like, you know. But anyway,
Me
so
too.
she goes with him to this thing. And then the the other guy, oh no, the other girl shows up with the guy who figured out the map, and draw it
Yeah.
down and stuff. And then they're telling him, don't go in there. That's bad. That's where the chupacabra lives, you know. And they're like, He's like, look, I told you, and he says this like 3 times. And I'm not joking, 3 times in different, things. I told you I would give you I would give you half the loot. You know, I don't know why you're trying to stop me from going in there. I'm like, duh, you know. And anyway, like it's ridiculous. It's just all ridiculous. So they go into the cave. Vampires come and attack. Um, the other people come in. The Mago turns out to be the El Chupacabra, which is the worst scene in the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Worst dialogue, worst scene where he's like, you know a lot about El Chupacabra. And she's like, I know a lot about Chupacabra because I am El Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Chupacabras. That's what it is. It's not Cabra, it's Cabras, apparently. And so I was just like, and then he tries to shoot her, and she's like, try it. Oh, you can't because I hypnotized you not to
Yeah.
be able to kill me. So what does he say? Do you remember?
What did he say? I forgot.
He said, you hypnotized me to not be able to kill you, but you didn't hypnotize me not to kill myself.
Oh
And he
yeah.
goes to
That's
kill
when he lunged
himself.
on her.
What?
That's when, well, pretty much the endings of
Yeah.
horribleness.
So he pushes her into like some lava that
Yeah.
apparently is in that cave.
Yeah.
I don't know
It
why,
was
but
like a volcano in a way.
I know. Where did that come from?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Their town just is under lava, or above lava. Like what the hell is going on here? So
Yeah.
he pushes her into this CGI lava, and they go into it. They both fall into it. You see them both inside the lava,
Yeah.
and then they cut to like everybody talking, blah blah blah. It's all done. The Chupacabra has been destroyed. Everything's back to all the. And now the coolest part of the whole movie was that all the vampires turned into bones, which still looked like crap, but like that was cool. I was
Uh-huh.
like, that's pretty neat. But like it looked like Buffy when Buffy would, you know,
Oh yeah.
kill everybody. They turn into dust, but this time it was just like
Yeah.
bones. Um, and then which bones kind of just disappeared, I guess, or whatever. I don't know, because you never see the bones again. Um, because they're CGI. You can't really see them. They're not real.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, they end up getting the what is it? Um so at the end way into the movie, like right before the credits start, of course, the grandfather comes out of the volcanic stuff, the lava that he fucking died in. He comes out and he's dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Obviously, no lava on him whatsoever. And now it would have been cool if you could see like his body like fly or something and he just grabbed onto, and climbed up, you know.
Yeah.
No, he went straight down with the thing. They should have
Yeah.
left it where he died. Like
Yep.
that that would have been a cool ending. Like them leaving and saying, "Oh, it's all over," that would have
Yeah.
made me happy. But this makes me go, "What? Come on."
Yep. I actually said that so loud. My mom's like, "What's wrong?" She came running in the room. I was like, "This is so dumb."
I know.
Like
So
she heard me
yes,
in the other room just say, "What?"
this movie is just utterly ridiculous.
It shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have been made. Is that what you're saying?
No, yeah, it shouldn't have been written. It should none of it. No.
Yeah, none of it. But what can you do? And it was
Yeah.
made. I picked it because I had never seen it. I was pretty
Yeah.
sure you hadn't seen it. But if you
No,
had been
I've
like, "Oh
never
yeah,
heard
I've
of.
seen this movie," I would have been like, "Let's watch
Yeah.
something
No, I've
else."
never heard of it.
No, I mean, and the only reason I heard of it was because it was on like my recommended for Tubi.
Ah.
Tubi thinks I like really shitty Wild Eye movies now since I've watched a few of them, you know? So it starts going, here's some more Wild Eye movies. Wild Eye just puts a lot of them on Tubi. Probably almost
Ah.
all their films are on Tubi now.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
great for a Wild Eye fan to, be
Yeah.
able to go and watch all the movies. But I mean, and that's the thing, you're gonna find like a diamond in the crap,
Oh
like you're gonna
yeah.
find, occasionally you're gonna be like, oh my God, this was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
This wasn't
This
that.
one was not.
This was not, but I think it tried. Um,
Yeah.
I
I mean, they
definitely think it
tried.
tried.
I don't know. Some parts is questionable.
Some parts were questioned, yeah. Like most of it was questionable.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't hate on it because they went out and freaking made an almost an hour and 30-minute movie. Like good for you dudes. Like
Yeah.
I give you full props for it. Just just write better. Like it Paul has this thing where he says writing is free. If you're writing for yourself, writing is 100% free. You can, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
rewriting and making it
Yeah.
good and asking people for feedback. Don't
Uh-huh.
just take them going because they're going to work with you and they want to work with you. Don't just let them say, this movie sounds great. Let them read it, look it
Yeah.
over, and go, okay, this needs help,
Mhm.
and some of it's going to need help, it's just the seriousness of it,
Yeah.
but man, this one needed a lot of help. Sorry. Sorry,
Sorry.
I wanted to like it. Definitely did. And I think it's one of those films where there might be somebody out there who enjoys it for being as bad as it is, you know,
Yeah, I'm sure.
and good for them, but not me.
Another thing that got on my nerves was the music.
Music was pretty terrible.
Bad.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know who did the music or if it's just something they got for free, you
Yeah.
know, or whatever. Because there's movies, some music you can just get for free, royalty free
Hmm.
music and stuff like that. And yeah. I mean, whatever. I
Hmm.
don't even remember necessarily all of the stuff with the music, so I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't memorable. But
No.
I do remember I was like, eh, I wouldn't watch. Like, I don't know if I had to review this again for Indie Film Cafe at some point I would, and I'd be
Yeah.
happy to do that. But like, yeah, no, I don't ever want to watch this movie again if I have to. You know,
Well, I
uh,
won't make you.
yeah, thanks. People just don't make me. I mean, I'm kind of interested to see what they do for a sequel. You
I
know,
kind of want to know too.
do they
Yeah.
have that on Tubi?
I don't
Might
know. I didn't see it because I typed in "Blood of the Chupacabras" and it only showed this one.
Let me see
But you
Revenge of the
said it had different
Chupacabras.
names,
Yeah,
so
Revenge of the
maybe.
Chupacabra. See if they have that. Chupa. Yep. Revenge of the Chupacabras is
Oh, it's
on
on
there. So the
there.
sequel is on there.
Ah,
Oh my God. Oh
as bad
Lord.
as this one was, I kind of want to check out the second one.
Not right now. I don't want to see it now,
No.
but I wouldn't mind watching at some point just to see if it got any better or not. I mean,
I'm gonna make my niece watch it.
there's a movie called Rage of the Mummy. That sounds
Rage of
bad.
the Mummy?
That
Wow.
Rage of the Mummy. I mean,
I don't know. I saw a pretty messed up mummy scene and it really messed up my vision of mummies after seeing that
what
scene.
movie
It
was
was in
that?
Tales from the Dark Side.
I can get
The
that.
The
They're
clip
really.
where he shoved the thing up the nose and just like scattered the
Oh yeah,
brain.
yeah, yeah. I remember
Oh, I
that.
was sick for a whole few days. I was nauseous.
Wow.
That was the
Mm.
last movie that actually upset me watching. And I was only like 8 years old.
Well, there
And the
you
worst
go.
part was we went out to eat right after I saw that. I couldn't
Ew,
eat.
why?
I was like, I can't touch the food.
Oh
My
Lord.
parents didn't know I watched it. I like hid it from them because I recorded it the night before and I watched it in my bedroom after school. Bad idea.
You learned that mistake. Don't ever do that again.
Exactly. Like my mom kept asking, "What's wrong with you? why are you so finicky with your food now?" I was like, I finally told her, I was like, I keep seeing a coat hanger go up a nose and pull it. And she's like, "What did you watch?" So I came clean and she's like, "Okay, well, just to know it's fake."
That's
Yeah.
always the good thing to tell people. Like, make
Yep.
sure you know it's fake.
But the thing is, you think about it and you're like, they really did that back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. It's been a while since I've seen that movie too. Tales from the Dark
I
Side.
haven't seen it since I was 8. I refuse to watch it again.
I have it on DVD somewhere.
Oh,
I
really?
bought it. Yeah. I
Wow.
found it at like a Goodwill or something, and I was like,
Oh, nice.
or maybe it was Second and Charles, but I found it somewhere, and I was like, oh my God. I don't see this out in the wild much. So I had to buy it.
Yeah.
Especially like if it were like at the dollar or whatever, it would be like only a couple dollars.
Oh,
So
yeah.
well worth it, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember seeing that years ago when I was on like VHS and stuff. And I remember there was a mummy one. I always kind of like mummy movies. Um, Even though it's funny, people laugh at me because I don't like zombies much.
I'm
I
not
will
too into
review zombie
zombies.
movies, but I'm not a fan of them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I was a fan of there was one called Warm Bodies.
Hmm.
That was a good one. And also Shaun of the Dead.
Classic.
I did enjoy Zombieland.
Zombie. I like ones that are sort of funny and kind of don't take it
Yeah,
so
exactly. The
seriously.
funny ones or the good ones.
I actually watched Night of the Living Dead somewhat recently.
Hmm.
For the first time, like it was like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I had seen it, uh, but it had been so long, and I remember I like was bored by it, and I would turn it off or whatever. So when I was a kid, when I was younger, so
Hmm.
like, because I just don't like things that are slow, like things
Yeah.
that are slow kind of bore me. I'm like, come on, like get to the whatever. And so I rewatched it and I was like, this is really good. This is well done for like the type. Now I need to rewatch like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, the originals.
Ah,
Because once
yeah.
again, I did not like them for the same sort of reasons.
Hmm.
And I actually went to the Dawn of the Dead mall, with
Oh,
some friends.
nice. Nice.
I was hungover and not feeling too great, so I wasn't in
Uh-huh.
the best of moods. So I
Oh,
would like to rewatch the movie and then eventually go back there, and
nice.
check out the mall again if it's still. I think it's still around.
That's
Malls are
cool.
dying, man.
Oh, tell me about it. We went to one last week, and pretty much you better be in your car before day breaks over. Like when
Oh,
it
because
hits nighttime, if you're out there, you're not making it out of the parking lot.
oh
And half the
Jesus.
stores were closed.
Well,
And the one that's
man, I
an
feel bad
hour
for the
away
people who
from me,
work
there's
there,
like
though.
3 stores. Huh?
What? I feel bad for the people who work there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
you know, to
Like
deal with
the
that
one that's
riffraff.
an hour away from us, there's 3 stores or maybe 4, but one you have to access from the outside. So I'm like, what's
Crazy.
happening to the world? I remember the
Chaos,
days that
man.
the mall was the
Chaos
place
and
to be.
crime.
Yeah,
Chaos and crime. And
that's very
chupacabras
true. And chupacabras.
that look like
Did
gargoyles.
you ever see that video on YouTube about the chupacabra running?
Mm-mm.
It was like a dog with an elongated face Kind of like if you stuck a donkey face onto a dog body.
That
And
sounds
it
scary.
just like oh, it was very scary. Had like glowing eyes, gnarly teeth, and
That's
it's just
what it should
hoofing
look
down the
like,
road.
right? Not a devil
Yeah,
bat and not a woman
yeah,
being the chupacabra. What is that?
exactly.
It didn't even make any sense. And then he was biting people,
No,
turning them into zombies or vampires, whatever they were, vampires.
they were kind of zombie-ish.
Uh, yeah, they were like zombie vampires. They were vampire
Somewhere.
but zompires, and it's just ridiculous. It was just kind of
Yeah.
boring. I don't know. So I guess it had like this movie had a mix of everything. It had gargoyles and s- the idea of a chupacabra and vampires and sort of zombies and a were thing, because the person turns into it. So he's aware,
Yeah.
she's a were chupacabra. I mean, I'm giving them
Very
better
hot.
titles than the movie had titles. Were chupacabra would have been a cool name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they leaned into that stuff, I think I would have liked it more. Like had it been about a woman who was going around the town killing everybody as this like thing, and you knew it from the very beginning and everything, but it was really cool because you got to see this woman turn into a chupacabra thingy and kill everybody.
Uh-huh.
But don't, I mean, once again, it should be
That actually
where
sounds pretty cool.
where goils. Ah, I like that. That should have been the
Nice.
movie
You should make
title.
that.
No,
I'll come do the special effects.
I know, and somebody should make that. Go ahead and make it. I would
Yeah.
watch it, but I don't. I'm honestly, I kind of been talking about this a little bit, but like Sick Flick Productions has been sort of on hiatus while I'm doing a lot of comedies, like writing and stuff. And I am still doing stuff with Sick Flick Productions, but I'm really trying to. I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired of uh the uh the indie horror scene because movies like this just like people just can make movies and
Yeah.
that's fantastic. I love that. Problem is they're like this, so
Yeah.
they get made and they get out and then all of a sudden we can't, we're gonna have to be very picky of what we watch these days. And
Yeah.
those movies aren't going to be watched as much, you know. Someday Tubi is going to get to a point where they're just like, we have too many of these movies, and we're
Yeah.
going to have to start cutting it. They did it. I hate to say it, they did it with Netflix. Netflix for the
Hmm.
longest time was the first streamer, right? First company to stream. So he
Hmm.
streamed almost everything. After a while, they're like, all right, we're gonna need to get rid of this library of content
Yeah.
and
I
then start.
remember when they had tons of stuff, and now you're like, can't find anything on it.
Well, and it's more Hollywood-ish stuff. Like they barely have any
Yeah.
indie stuff on there.
Yeah.
Um, and most of the stuff now is like Netflix presents,
Hmm.
and Tubi's sort of
True.
doing
They do
that
that with
too.
Hulu too.
Hulu as well, and now
Yeah.
Tubi is actually doing Tubi presents, Tubi
Oh, I
original.
haven't paid attention to that.
So there's a lot of Tubi originals, and I have
Huh.
a feeling that's where it's going to go to, where they're going to stop, where they're going to be like, well, we've got too much content on our library, and it's
Yeah.
killing our bandwidth, and we're going to need to start slicing these movies. And
Yeah.
so then it's going to be harder for indie filmmakers to get their stuff in there because they're going to have to, be very selective of what they choose. Um,
Yeah. Well,
everybody's
maybe
so
that could be a good thing, though.
it's not with Netflix because now Netflix, remember, like, Netflix became so big now that they only
Yeah.
do Hollywood stuff, really. You know,
Yeah.
the indie stuff that they do is Blumhouse, you know.
Yeah, true. And I enjoy Bloomhouse stuff.
Their stuff's good, but what I'm saying
Yeah.
is like the problem with it is that like that's like at least $1 million, if not more. This
Yeah.
movie was made for $500, or whatever. Maybe more. I might be. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. people who made this movie, if you guys actually spend more money, I'm definitely sorry if you guys spend more money because this was this this needed more and more money thrown
Yeah.
at it. This needed lights and better
Yeah.
camera equipment and sound equipment and
Hmm.
better music and um, the acting. I mean, the acting was what on par what you normally see in these kind of movies. So
Yeah,
that
true.
didn't it didn't like I didn't cringe when I heard anybody talk, you know? So that's a good
Yeah.
sign. So acting wasn't terrible considering I bet these were
Yeah.
really his friends and family that came out and were a part of the
Hmm.
movie. I always watch till the end of the movie to see if like there's an extra scene and there wasn't. So I was hoping there
Uh
would be like a preview to Revenge of the Chupacabras or something or like a
yeah.
setup for it. Uh, Weirdly enough, it looks like, and I could be wrong, but it looked like it was all brand new people in it.
Hmm.
So I'm like, how is this like a continuation? And the gargoyles look like CG gargoyles. Like I saw a preview of it. They look like CG gargoyles, not
Huh.
chupacabras.
Oh
So
wow.
it looks bad,
Hmm. Uh
I I will probably watch it just because I'm one of those guys who I'm a completist. I like to uh finish something, if I know there's a sequel to it. I want to find out what happens even if it's a terrible movie. I'm terrible
See,
like
I
that.
used to do that until I don't remember what movie it was, but it was like when I was in high school, I wanted to see all of the ones that they made. There was one I fell asleep every time I watch it. Never got through it.
What was the movie? My mom said she fell asleep to something that is like everybody's favorite movie. Like um God, what was it? Wasn't Gremlins. Was it?
Hmm.
It might have been Gremlins. Um Something like that. Some movie like
Mhm.
that. Like she said she just kept falling asleep through it. She couldn't help, you know. And I was just like, really? Like
Hmm.
Gremlins is one of my favorites. I don't know if that was it or
I
not.
love Gremlins.
Yeah, I need that on 4K at some point. I know it is on 4K already. I need to buy it because
Ah,
it's a classic, you know.
nice.
That
Yeah.
and
Both of
Goonies,
them. Oh
both
yeah, Goonies.
yeah, all of those movies back in the 80s, and early
80s
90s.
had some good movies.
They did.
In
Um
the 90s too, and then 2000s it started getting iffy.
so this movie is early 2000s and it's basically like so in the 90s, 80s and 90s was the time where they were doing like shot on video. And so
Uh-huh.
Donald Farmer, who you've worked with more than once,
Yeah.
he used to do shot on video films. He still technically does because they're video, they're not, film equipment and everything. So technically
Yeah.
any HD camera you have is technically shot on video.
Uh-huh.
But um my point is the shot on video movement was amazing back then. Now, these guys would go out with their friends, make movies, have a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
be marginally entertaining, you know. This movie feels like it wanted to be that, but wasn't able to actually ever accomplish it.
It looked like they didn't have fun doing it. I don't
Mm,
know.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work, man. A lot of work making a movie,
Very true.
especially
Yeah.
an hour
Yeah.
and 25-minute movie. You have to do a lot of scenes, got to put them all together. You have to make them make sense. And that was the hardest part for this movie, I guess, is
Yeah.
make it make sense. Um, but yeah, it was like I think more and more people should watch movies like this to see what not to do. Like that
Yeah.
sounds terrible, but that's
Or watch this movie and remake it better.
I don't know. I think they should drop that idea and go with like, the idea of like weregoil, or something,
Yeah, I like the
or
Rare
whatever.
Goyle.
If you're gonna go like lean into that, man. That was the most fun is the fact that apparently she could shapeshift into the
Yeah.
El Chupacabra thing, but Sure, at least she just kind of sprouted wings, you know.
Also, the okay, this is gonna sound so bad, but it's not El Chupacabra. It's supposed to be La Chupacabras.
I,
Las Chupacabras.
oh,
That's the Chupacabras. But they're using a male form with the female form because you don't put L with something that ends in a letter A.
you
So that
don't?
was one of the things that bothered me. I was like, why is she saying El Chupacabra? It's
No,
supposed
because
to be La
that's how
Chupacabra.
it's said. If you
Yeah,
look up anything, everything's always El Chupacabra. So
really?
yeah.
Huh.
So it's not just the movie. It's
Ah,
I've seen El Chupacabra like in more other places other than this movie.
hmm,
So that did not bother me because I was used to that. But I
hmm.
could see from a person who actually lived in Mexico that,
Yeah,
would be bothered by the fact. And it's funny that you say that because whoever created El Chupacabra,
yeah.
was wrong in they're saying. It was probably an American. And was like, I call this the El Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Because
Now, one
chupra
story,
means I don't know which one meant goat. One meant goat, one meant sucker, I think chupra means sucker and the
yeah,
cabra meant goat. So it's goat sucker,
yeah.
which sort of made sense for whatever, but ugh, just ridiculous. This movie was
I
just
actually, when I was teaching English in Mexico, I asked my student, I was like, so you see any chupacabras? She just looked at me and burst out laughing. She's like, are you serious? I said, yeah, I want to see a chupacabra. She just looked at me and smiled really sheepishly. And she's like, they aren't real. It's like, but they are. And she said, no, Miss Anna, they're not real.
they're not
So
real. No,
I also
they're a
asked her if they
mythical
found
creature. They're
life
like
on
the
Mars.
Sasquatch,
Yeah. Well,
you
she
know.
believed in Sasquatch, though.
Um,
Yeah.
you can't
She also
not
believed that
believe.
her grandmother used to fly around the moon. It's like, oh, that's a pretty wild story.
Wait, she
But
told
I
you
did
that,
get her to tell me about
but
La
yeah,
Llorona.
Chupacabra was not real.
Yeah, the chupacabra's not real, but flying ladies around the around the moon were real.
You hung
No,
out with some
another
weird
thing
people.
they talked about was La Llorona.
Oh, La Llorona.
Yeah, La
La
Llorona.
Llorona.
Yes.
Yeah. There's actually a
So
whole
we
movie.
actually had video of the sound going on in the fields. It
Oh,
was somebody like
crying.
screaming.
Oh,
Yeah,
screaming.
crying and screaming. And then it just sounded like I don't know, like a beast out of nowhere. And these people caught that most mornings in their fields around like 4 in the morning.
That's
So
scary.
they were friends with the family that I live with, and they're like, listen to this, watch. I'm like, what
Wow.
is that? One of our security guards at the apartment in Mexico heard it going on, and he came upstairs white as a ghost. And we're like, what's going on? He's like, don't you hear her? We're like, who are we supposed to hear? He's like, the crying lady. She's here to get me. I'm like,
Yeah, the
what?
weeping woman. Is that what, like,
Yeah, yeah, the
basically?
weeping woman.
Mm.
But we told him we don't hear her. And he's like, I still hear it. And we're like, oh, you're next to die, dude. You better go hide. But
That's creepy.
he swore up and down that he heard it crying and nobody could hear anything but him. So I'm like, okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think, God, we actually talked an hour about this movie. I'm surprised. I thought literally we weren't going to get that far. I thought this was going to be
Yeah.
like 10 minutes. At first, I mean, first it
You know,
almost felt like it was only going to be 10 minutes.
my
What?
mom asked what we were going to talk about other than the movie. She's like, you need to fill up an hour spot, right? I was like, I'm sure we'll talk enough junk on it.
We talked enough junk on it and other stuff. We did talk about other things.
Yeah.
All of my podcasts, like, you can't just talk about the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to go off on little tangents and talk about other
Oh
shit.
yeah. Yep.
Because that's life on the show, on these shows. If we talked about the whole movie the whole time, I think it'd be boring.
It's true.
Honestly, it's got to feel like an organic conversation.
Yeah.
So
That's what makes it really good
yeah. So
and
thank you
fun.
guys for checking this out, and thank you, Anna, for joining me on
Yes.
this. This is
Thank you for having
ridiculous.
me.
Maybe next year if I do this again, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is I don't know how much longer horror film lovers or any of these are gonna last. If it might
Yeah.
last for the rest of the year and then be done. Because I've just got so much other shit I'm doing. And
That's good though. You're keeping busy.
I want to like, and so when I do these, kind of takes me away from doing other stuff too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
eventually, I'm probably gonna have to take a break at least for a little while and concentrate and focus on the other stuff. Then maybe come back if I have some like downtime to, I mean, it might even just be like one or two, one like thing a week, or something, so you
Yeah.
get stuck content on those shows, but. I don't know. It's crazy. Um, but anyway, I just want to say thank you so much. You've been awesome, and I really appreciate you coming out here for this and everybody else. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, you heard our whole story on it. I mean, there's really not much else to say. So if you haven't seen it and you're still sort of interested, because we said some stuff that sounds terrible, um, go watch it, but understand. It's really not going to be that great. It got a pretty low score on IMDb, and I don't blame it. It's like 1.5 or something ridiculous. It's pretty bad, and kind of
Yeah.
deserves that, like one or two or whatever stars out of 10,
Yeah.
I think if we did the stinkometer on it, I would give it a 9.5 or something.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
don't think
give
I'm gonna
it.
give it a 10 because at least I can see a little bit of a heart in it of them
Yeah.
trying. It doesn't feel like a 10 movie, but it's
No.
it's pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
thank you
we're
for
not gonna
having me
review this, I
on.
don't think, for Indie Film Cafe.
Yeah, I don't
I I,
blame you.
I just don't like I think there's too much boring parts in it where it just it yeah, you know. But whatever. All the people in it, I'm glad you guys went out, made a movie. Congratulations on doing that. Congratulations that they made a sequel. I don't think anybody was asking for it, but hey, you made a sequel. Awesome. Aside from that, though, thank you guys so much for joining us and listening, putting up with our shenanigans. Until next week, next Friday, I'll have a new episode for you guys. So till then,
Nice.
everybody, bye.
Bye bye.